Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online. So as you all know that we are going to have a lot of exams in the coming months, specifically SSC JE which is in October, and apart from that we are also having SSC CGL exam as well. So for all these exams we are conducting the live sessions from different subjects, right? So as part of this series we are now going to discuss the geography, and specifically this is a geography lecture series 1 you can say, because we are having two subparts within geography, that is physical geography or world geography we can say, and then Indian geography as well, right? So in this session specifically we are going to discuss the physical geography or world geography, right? And in the next one more session we will have related to geography. In that we are going to discuss the Indian geography, right? Specifically in SSC JE, the geography has the highest weightage among all the GS subjects, even more than polity, right? So there are around 7 to 8 questions on an average every year, fine, and out of that we are having equal amount of physical geography questions as well. Specifically in state PCS we will see a lot of questions from Indian geography, whereas in SSC JE we are seeing a lot of physical geography questions, right? So that's why this is a very important chapter within this SSC JE, right? So let's solve the questions. A very good evening, Venkat. So let's start with the questions. We will discuss some 30-35 questions, and then again in Indian geography we are going to discuss around 30-35 more questions, right? So in these questions we will also briefly discuss about the concepts as well. So in the class also we have dealt very in detailed manner. So let's start with the first question. So comment your answer. I'll just give around 5 to 6 seconds for every question, and then we will discuss that as well, right? So first question is, see, SSC JE questions are very easy, specifically from general studies. It is not like AE, AW exams in state PCS. There is no statement based, it's just one-liners, right? So Big Bang theory is also known as cosmic collapse hypothesis, steady state theory, expanding universe hypothesis, stationary universe theory. So what is the answer for this? Right. So Big Bang theory is also called as expanding universe hypothesis. That means it is proposed by Edwin Hubble. So the theory says that universe that we are seeing, so universe means everything that surrounds us. It can be solar system, it can be galaxies, it can be number of stars, it can be pen, bench, set, everything that we can see or feel, right? So Edwin Hubble proposed this universe expanding theory. He says that this all universe that we are seeing as a very big one is very small dot when it was formed around 13.7 billion years ago, right? 13.7 billion years ago it was a small point. It is called as a singularity. So in exam they will ask singularity as well, singularity concept. So it was a single dot, and then it kept on increasing because of the extreme temperature, pressure, density inside the single point, right? So it started expanding slowly, and over the years it became a very big infinite manner. Now we cannot say what is the end of universe also, nobody knows, right? So that's why it is also called as expanding universe hypothesis, correct. Next question, when a meteoroid enters, I have discussed this question in the class also, this is a previous year question, right, from SSC itself. When a meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere, when the meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere and produces a streak of light, then it is called as what? Meteorite, asteroid, comet and meteor. So what is the answer for this? This is a little bit tricky and it is a previous SSC JE question also. Right, when meteoroid enters into Earth's atmosphere and produces a streak of light, it is called what? Very good, Prakash. So we will briefly see. See, you might be aware about asteroid, right? So let's say if this is the sun, this is first planet Mercury, and then we have Venus, and then we have Earth, Mars, and then Jupiter, right? Jupiter is the bigger one. In between Jupiter and Mars we have an asteroid belt. So asteroids are basically small rock fragments that lie specifically between Mars and Jupiter, right? Whereas meteoroid is also a rocky object, but not just located here. It is located anywhere in the space. The same rocky object, if it is located between Mars and Jupiter, it is called as asteroid. But the rocky object elsewhere, if it is located, it is called as meteoroid. And when meteoroid, enters into the Earth's atmosphere, then it bursts, right? Then it bursts and in form of a streak light. This meteoroid entering into Earth's atmosphere, we have a mesosphere. We have discussed this in the class also. We have an atmosphere starting from troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere. So when it enters the Earth's atmosphere, as this is very hot, meteoroid is very hot, and mesosphere is very cold. So when cold and hot temperature mix, it bursts into a light. This is called as a meteor. And sometimes this meteoroid can sustain the cold temperatures and they may fall on Earth. Then it is called as a meteorite after falling on the Earth. But when it bursts and emerges a light in Earth's atmosphere, it is called as a meteor. So the question is asking about when meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere and produces a streak of light, it is called as what? It is meteorite, a meteor. When it enters, right, then only we can say it as a meteorite. Fine. So answer is D. Correct, Prakash, very good. Next, the tail of comets. We have discussed this, right, various other objects in the space, right. So we have discussed in the class also. The tails of comets always points to. So comet, what is comet? We will discuss that. So basically they are saying, if this is the comet, then the tail of comet always points to what? Towards which side? Towards the sun, in the direction of the comet's motion, away from the sun, towards the earth. So what is the answer? So let's see. First, what is comet? Can someone tell me? If you are, our classroom student or online student, you can comment. What is comet? Right? See, in our solar system, let me show you the map. This is a solar system. We have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, asteroid belt, then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then we have a Kuiper belt after Pluto. This is called as a Kuiper belt. I discussed in the class also, right? So here, as they are far from sun, they are very cold and solid objects. The cold ice objects emerging from Kuiper belt are called as comet, and comets travel towards the sun. You can see here, this is the comet. So when the comet is traveling towards the sun, the tail is pointing away from the direction of the sun. This is the sun direction, this is the away. So the tail is in the away side of the sun. So you can see answer is away from the sun, not in the direction of the comet motion. Comet motion is head is towards it, tail is away from the sun, not towards sun or not towards earth. So answer is C. So this is also one of the railways examination question. Next question, which of the following is not a characteristic of terrestrial planets? So we have two types of planets, terrestrial planets, then Jovian planets, away planets. So they are asking which one is not a characteristic of terrestrial planets. They are small in size, made of rock and metal, possesses iron core at the center, composed mostly of hydrogen and helium gas. So what is the answer for this? Anyone? So you will get from geography at least 6-7 questions from out of 50, right? You should answer in SSC JE. In other exams, geography has higher weightage, right? So what is the answer for this? So there are two kind of planets, as we have discussed. These four are called as terrestrial. That means which can enable life. Life does not mean humans. It can be any microorganisms also. And all other planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they are called as non-terrestrial or Jovian planets, starting from Jupiter. So they are asking which one is not a characteristics of these terrestrial planets. So here they are small in size. You can see these are all the bigger ones, but these are all very small ones. So they are basically smaller in size. This is correct. And yes, the inner planets like Earth are mainly made up of rock and metal. This is also correct. Yes, at iron core, we will discuss in the next question about Earth's interior also. At the center, we have iron core also, right? This is also correct. But hydrogen and helium gases are dominant in the extraterrestrial, that is away Jovian planets. Here we have hydrogen and helium, whereas in the interiors planets we have CO2, nitrogen, and these gases are mainly dominant. Even in Earth also, the major element is nitrogen, right? Very popular question. So this is the answer. That is not characteristic. So answer is D. It is not composed of hydrogen, helium, rather it is composed of carbon dioxide and nitrogen are the major ones. Next one, why does Mercury experience greatest variation in the surface temperature? So if this is the Mercury, greatest variation, they are asking greatest variation. That means in daytime it is 150, 200, 300 degrees centigrade, and in the night time minus 200, minus 300. So why is this drastic great variance? What is the reason for it? It has a magnetic field, it rotates very fast, it has no atmosphere, it is covered by clouds. So what is the answer for this? Yes, very good. Venkat has answered this correct. That is, Mercury does not have atmosphere. If you see Earth, Earth has the atmosphere covering stratosphere, ionosphere, mesosphere, troposphere. So whenever the sun rays gets, this layers reduces the sunlight in the daytime. So temperatures won't go beyond 30, 40, 50 degrees at max in some places like Saudi Arabia. And in night time, whatever the heat we received, it will make unable to capture within atmosphere. So night time also we won't see minus degrees, right? So temperature is moderate, whereas in Mercury, as there is no atmosphere, daytime it has a high temperature and the night time they have a less temperature. This question not like this but in a different format. In statement based, 3-4 statements they are given in UPSC Civil Services this year 2025. You can check the question, right? So related to this extreme temperatures itself, right? So it's a very popular question. It has no atmosphere. Correct, Venkat. Next question. Venus appears bright, very bright. This is the brightest planet in all the 8 planets of our solar system. Why this is the brightest planet? It is closest to Earth. It has highest albedo. It reflects light from moon. It rotates faster than Earth. So what is the answer for this? Correct. Prakash and Venkat have answered it correct. Right. So what is albedo? Again, if you are a classroom student, it's very simple thing that we have discussed. So albedo means the capacity to reflect back the sunlight. If you see white, it will reflect a lot. That's why it's glow. Whereas if you take black color shirt, it captures as much as possible. It won't reflect back. That's why it is dark in color. So that means white color has highest albedo. That means it can reflect a lot and it can glow. Black, it has least albedo because it can capture sunlight. So this Venus has very good albedo because of presence of CO2 and many other gases, right? So that's why it has highest albedo and therefore it appears very bright among all the planets. And in class we have also said that Venus is also called as morning star and evening star. Why? Because in the morning it is the last to disappear. As sunlight rises, slowly all the stars will get disappear, but Venus is the last to disappear because it is the very brightest. And also in the evening time it is the first to appear, so it is also called as evening star, right? So answer is B. Next one, which planet is known as red planet? Very popular question, easy question. Tell me. Comment your answers. Why it is, which planet is called as a red planet? Correct. Prakash, Raja, Venkat. So everyone, it's very easy question. Mars. This is because presence of iron oxide. So because of presence of iron oxide on the Mars, even red soils also appear red because of presence of iron oxide, right? So because of that, Mars is called as red planet. Next one, very good evening Raja, welcome to the session. Which is the largest natural satellite in our solar system? We have a number of natural satellites, more than 200. For Saturn alone, we have 150 around satellites are there. For Earth, we have only one moon, one natural satellite, that is moon. And for Mars, we have Phobos and Deimos, 2 moons. So which one is the largest natural satellite in our solar system? Titan, Ganymede, and then Callisto or moon. Very good, Venkat. So it is Ganymede. This is the moon of what? Tell me. This is, natural satellite of which planet? That is Jupiter, right? Jupiter. Okay. I am checking your comments also. You can answer. So based on your comments only, I am going for the next question. Okay. You can comment so that it will boost your confidence as well. Fine, Ganymede. And then Titan is the planet of Saturn, Callisto again Jupiter. Fine, moon is the satellite of Earth. Correct. Good. Venkat, Raja, everyone, I think many people have answered. Next one, which of the following statements, now we are done with the solar system, we are now going to Earth. Which of the following statements about latitude is true? They have given 4 statements related to latitude. What is latitude, longitude? So it's very direct question. So which one is true about the latitude? Okay. First, all the lines of latitude are equal in length. They are saying all the lines of latitude are equal in length. Latitude lines converge at poles. At poles, all the latitudes meet each other, they are saying. The linear distance, that means between 2 latitudes, linear distance of degree of latitude increases towards the pole. So the distance between 2 latitudes are increasing at the poles, they are saying. Latitude is measured along the equator, they are saying. So tell me, what is the answer for this question? Venkat, very, very good, because this is a tricky question. This is a conceptual question, right? So specifically, this is a little bit tricky question. So firstly, what is latitude? Latitudes are the horizontal lines drawn on the Earth's surface for every degree, right? So these are the latitudes. All latitudes are equal in length? No, this is wrong, because as the equator is the largest latitude, and as we move towards the pole, the length of latitude decreases. So this is wrong. Latitudinal lines converge at poles? No, that actually is the longitudes. All the longitudes meet at poles, but not the latitudes. This is also wrong. Latitude is measured along the equator? No, latitudes are not just measured at the equator, it is measured throughout the Earth. This is also wrong. Now linear distance means distance between 2 latitudes, and as Earth is flat, you can say it is bulged, you can say it's flattened at poles. So the distance between latitudes as we move towards the pole increases. So the distance between 2 latitudes at the polar region is more because Earth is flattened at poles here and here. So this is the correct answer. C. Correct. Raja and Venkat. Very good. Next one, lines of longitudes meet at, just now we have discussed, very straightforward question. You should answer this. Lines of longitude meet at equator, tropics, poles, international date line. At which point all the longitudes meet? So if this is the Earth, longitudes are drawn from pole to pole. Greenwich is 0 degree, then 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, like this 180 degrees east and west are drawn. So all those are meet at poles. So answer is C. Correct. Prakash, Raja, Venkat. Good. Next one, when do equinoxes occur? In seasons chapter, very popular question, popular area where you can expect a question, seasons on Earth. So they are asking, when do this equinox occur? June 21, December 22, March 21, September 23rd, January 1, July 1, April 15 and October 15. Where do equinox occur? Equinox, so let's check. Solstice means what? See, the main reason for the occurrence of season is the tilt of earth. Earth perpendicular axis is not, vertical axis is not perpendicular to each other to the sun, rather it is tilted like this. So whenever there is a tilt effect is impacted, we will see summer and winter accordingly in northern and southern hemisphere. It is called as solstice. Whereas as the sun is this side, there is no impact of tilt in this position of earth. This is called as equinox. This happens on March 21 and September 22, 23rd. So answer is B, March 31, September 23rd. This is a solstice. In December, we northern hemisphere experience winter, southern hemisphere experience summer. So it's not equinox, right? So answer is B. Correct. Ganesh, Prakash, Venkat. Good. Next one. This is a previous question from RRB NTPC, right? So again they can repeat these questions in other exams. Which region on earth receive direct sunlight throughout the year? So throughout the year, as earth is tilted, so sun rays are fallen from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. So which region receives the sunlight throughout the year directly, not by reflection or refraction, but direct sun rays are fallen? Polar regions, temperate regions, equatorial regions, subtropical regions. Good. Harsha has answered. Oh, sorry, not Harsha. Yeah, Harsha answered. Raja also answered. That is equatorial region. Let me draw the zones of earth quickly. We have discussed this in the class also directly. This is the equator, right? So this 0 to 5 degree, or you can say 10 degree also approximately, 10 degree north as well as south. This zone is called as equatorial zone, right? And then up to 23.5 degree north and 23.5 degree south, these are called as tropical zones. These zones are tropical zones. Then up to 40 degree, these are called as temperate zones, and up to these are called as subtropical zones. These are subtropical up to 40 degree north and south. Then up to 66.5, then these zones are called as temperate zones, and here at the top after 66.5 till 90 degree, it is called as a polar region. So basically sun rays are directly fallen only between the tropics, right? So subtropical also we don't see. So basically here option is equatorial region, and therefore answer is C. Okay. Next, in a solar eclipse, this is also previous year question from RRB JE. In a solar eclipse, how does the umbra shadow behave as it reaches to the earth? It gets larger, it remains the same size, it gets smaller, it disappears. What is the answer? Think about it and answer the question. This is a little bit tricky. I'll show you the diagram also. Okay. So eclipse means what? When a space body comes in between other two space bodies and obstruct the light, that phenomena is called as eclipse, right? And in case of solar eclipse, when moon comes in between, yes. So in solar eclipse, when moon comes between sun and earth, earth does not have own light, only no solar body in, no body in the solar system has their own weight, own light. It is only the sunlight. So when moon comes in between sun and earth, it is called as a solar eclipse. So here when the sun rays are coming towards moon and then completely blocks, this is called as umbra, and after hitting moon there will be also reflection and dim light is fallen on earth, it is called as a penumbra. Let me show you. So you can see here, moon, and as the sunlight reaches it gets smaller, this is called as umbra, and after reflecting back we have a dim light, this is called as a penumbra. So basically umbra size is getting smaller, right? So answer is C, it gets smaller. So Prakash has answered this question. Good. Next, which of the following layers is responsible for the movement of tectonic plates? For the movement of tectonic plates, which layers in the Earth's interior they are saying. So quickly let me draw the Earth interior. So if this is the Earth, if you go inside of Earth, right, the first layer up to 100 kilometers, 100 to 150, it is called as crust. Then we have mantle, right, and this is upper mantle, we have upper mantle, then this is lower mantle, this is lower mantle, then we have outer core, then we have inner core, right, this is the layers, crust, upper mantle, inner mantle, outer core, inner core, and within that we have two other specific layers, that is crust and uppermost mantle. It is all divided into number of plates called as lithosphere. So basically lithosphere is the crust and uppermost mantle, which is divided into number of plates, and when these plates move we will get the earthquakes. Recently, yesterday only, we got earthquake in Russia, and it led to formation of small tsunami also, right? So because of movement of plates in the lithosphere. Then we have asthenosphere. Asthenosphere is a layer within the upper mantle where the viscous magma is present, and between the gaps of these plates the magma comes out as a lava. So now the question is, which of the following layers is responsible for the movement of tectonic plates? That is lithosphere. Okay, fine. See, there may be a confusion. Basically, as lithosphere option is there, you have to choose lithosphere. If asthenosphere alone is there but not lithosphere, then you can choose asthenosphere, because these plates move because of the viscous molten material just underneath the plates, but the actual movement is happening in lithosphere, but enabling was done by asthenosphere. So direct reason, if lithosphere is there, you have to take lithosphere, because the actual movement is happening in lithosphere itself, right? So answer is B. Next question, the lithosphere is composed of what? Right? See, responsible for movement of this slightly, this is a previous year question. See, the actual movement is happening in lithosphere, and the cause, so they are pointing responsible. So we can say asthenosphere is also possible. So we have to check once about this question, previous year question. The actual movement is happening in lithosphere, and the responsible was done by asthenosphere. So it seems they are indirectly asking who is responsible to move the plate. So some people have answered asthenosphere. So we can say asthenosphere may be also the answer. So I think asthenosphere should be taken as a correct here, right? Please check it once, the answer I will also check. But see, the movement is happening in lithosphere and responsibility is asthenosphere, right? Next, lithosphere is composed of entire mantle, crust only, core and mantle, crust and upper part of the mantle. Okay, what is the answer? We have just discussed lithosphere is nothing but crust and upper part of the mantle. Yes, correct. So this is very direct question we have discussed. Let's move to the next question. What percentage of Earth's surface is covered by oceans? What percentage of Earth's surface is covered by oceans? This was asked in AEE or AE, I think, in Telangana TGPSC in 2023, and many exams like SSC or it's a repetitive question. So what is the answer? Yes, it is C, 71%. Rest of the 29% is filled with the continents. Okay, so very important question, very important fact, that is 71%. Next question, who was the first person to propose continental drift theory? In class we have discussed three kinds of theories: continental drift theory, plate tectonic theory, sea floor spreading theory. I have told you the year, who proposed, everything. So now they are asking about the continental drift theory. Who proposed this? This is also previous year question. I have taken a lot of questions in the last 10-15 years, previous year questions, so that you will get an idea how to prepare. So answer is Alfred Wegener. Correct. Prakash, Unlucky, Venkat, Raja, everyone have answered this correct. Good. Very factual question, no concept involved. Which modern theory is based on, this is a tricky question. This was asked in CAPF exam. Which modern theory is based on Wegener's concept of shifting continents? So continents have moved, right? So which modern theory was depended on Wegener's concept of shifting continents? So based on Wegener's proposition, that is continental drift theory, how the continents has shifted away each other. Theory of evolution, sea floor spreading theory, plate tectonic theory, rock cycle theory. What is the answer? So answer is plate tectonic theory, right? Plate tectonic theory, has proposed, so as the plates move away, this is because the continents has drift. This was taken by from Wegener's concept of shifting concepts. So answer is C. Correct, Venkat. Good. Next one. Which tectonic plate is primarily involved in the forming of ring of fire? Very direct question, popular question also. Which tectonic plate is involved primarily in the formation of ring of fire? Circum-Pacific belt also called, right? So I have already given you the clue. Yes, the answer is Pacific belt. It is called as a Circum-Pacific belt or Pacific ring of fire. Let me show you this one. All this, whatever shaded in pink color, this is a boundary of different plates. This is a Pacific plate. All the Earth's interior is divided into number of plates in the lithosphere. So all this is a Pacific plate and all other plates are boundary to it. So whenever there is a movement, lot of volcanoes, earthquakes occur in this region. So this is called as a ring of fire because always active. Japan, see, you can see. The Japan is completely within this region. That's why it experienced lot of volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunami and all. Correct. Next one. Which of the following minerals are most commonly found in the rocks? What is a rock? Rock is a composition of various minerals, organic as well as inorganic matter, right? So out of all the minerals, which one is mostly common in the rocks? Very popular question again. Mica, gypsum, feldspark, quartz, calcite, halite, diamond and corundum. Right, very good, Venkat, Prakash. So feldspar and quartz are the major composition in almost all kind of rocks, right? Then diamonds and all these are very less. Gypsum, mica, these are very less. Correct, Ganesh. Yes. Next question. Which of the following regions in India is known for basalt rock formation? You need to club this with Indian geography. This was asked in physical geography, but anyway. Which region in India have basaltic rock formation? Himalayas, Thar Desert, Indo-Gangetic Plain, Deccan Plateau. Right. So Deccan Plateau, we discussed this as well, right? Deccan Plateau is the region between Narmada and then up to Kaveri, right? So this region was part of Gondwana. This Gangetic Plain in Himalayas, these were formed when after India hits the Eurasian plate. These were the existing even before the formation of Himalayas and also this part of Gondwana. Deccan Plateau was formed because of the volcanic origin filled with the basaltic rocks. So answer is Deccan Plateau, correct. So lot of people have answered, very good. Next one, now geomorphology, we have some questions. Landforms, from landforms we have one question. This is the previous NTPC question, RRB. Potholes are formed by which process? Chemical weathering, deposition, abrasion and erosion, glacial movement. What are potholes? When the river water is flowing, so whatever the stones that are there, they will make a holes, undulations, depressions, right? So this is formed because abrasion and then stream erosion. As they move, it erodes the floor and makes the potholes on the path of the road, right? So yes, C is correct, good. Next, which of the following is not a depositional landform? Which of the following is not a depositional landform? See, landform means what? Any geographical feature formed on earth because of erosion or deposition or any forces like wind, water, whatever may be. So now they have given 4 options and they have given 3 depositional and 1 erosional. Now we need to find one erosional one, right? Which one is the erosional landform? They are asking not depositional, that means it should be erosional. Alluvial fan, these are formed at the foothills. As the river flows, it releases into a wider path of deposition. This is called as alluvial fan. This is a depositional one. Delta, this is formed at the coast, deposition of river thing. Floodplain, this is also when river is flowing. So they deposit lot of material on the sides of the river. This is called as a floodplain. Whereas gorge is a block where over the thousands, lakhs of years when river is flowing, it has formed a narrow path, right? That is called as a gorge. So answer is B. So it is not a depositional, it is a erosional. Rest of all things are depositional. Next one, the lowest layer of atmosphere is called, this is a previous question in SSC JE, directly copied. So which one is the lowest layers in the atmosphere? Yes, very direct question. Let me show you. That is troposphere. So if this is the earth, we have an atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere or ionosphere, it is also called as ionosphere, and exosphere, outer space, right? So lowest one is thermosphere and this ozone is located in the stratosphere. We have discussed this in a very detail in a class, right? Very popular question. Yes, everyone are correct. Next one, karst topography is formed due to the action of. Karst topography is a specific kind of landform, is formed due to the action of wind, glaciers, groundwater, ocean currents. So what is the answer? You should answer. This is a very popular question in many of the examination. What is the answer? Very good evening, Hemant Kumar. Tell me. See, many people are struggling to answer this question. I stressed in the class also that this is a very important. Let me show you the karst topography. What is this? This kind of caves, right? We have a number of Ahobilam caves in Kurnool and in Vizag also we have Burra caves. All these are formed like this. You can see stalactites, stalagmites, we have discussed this, right, in the class. So you should answer, at least classroom students. So this is formed because of the groundwater. These are filled with the sedimentary deposits, right? So answer is groundwater. Underground caves, when river is flowed in the soft consolidated underground, so it carved out, it breaks and then leads to formation of this kind of topography. This is called as a karst topography, right, formed by groundwater. Next question, who coined the term cyclone to describe tropical storms in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea? Who coined this term cyclone to describe tropical storms in the Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea? Answer is, options are Henry Paddington, Alfred Wegener, Halley and Ferrell. Cyclones chapter. The answer is Henry Paddington. So he is the person, as he has observed that is a snake coil, how the snake surrounds itself like a coil. So Henry Paddington has named this. Next question, which of the following is not a correct match of local names for the cyclones? Local names for the cyclone. See, cyclone is a low pressure depression moved across the ocean, right, as it receives lot of rainfall continuously by maintaining sufficient Coriolis force, high temperatures, low pressure zone, it reaches to the land. We have discussed, right. So this is called as a cyclone. Now cyclone is called with different names in different regions across the oceans. In Atlantic Ocean we call with a different name, in Indian Ocean we call with a different name, right. So now they are asking the wrong pair matched. Hurricane, Atlantic Ocean; typhoon, Southeast Asia; tornado, Indian Ocean; cyclone, Indian Ocean. Very simple question, right. They are asking not correctly matched. Tornado is not called in the Indian Ocean. We never experience tornadoes, right. So we experience the cyclone itself. The name of cyclone in Indian Ocean is cyclone itself. This pair is correct. So this is obviously wrong. So answer is C, not correct, right. So cyclones are called with different names. So you can see here in the Indian Ocean region we call it as a cyclone, right, and even in the Southern Pacific we call it as a cyclone. In the Atlantic Ocean or West Pacific Ocean we call it typhoon. In the Eastern Pacific Ocean it is called as a hurricane, right, and then even in the Atlantic Ocean also we call it as a typhoon, hurricane, right. So answer is C. Next, what is the definition of absolute humidity? What is the definition of absolute humidity? Very direct question. Weight of water vapor per unit volume of air, percentage of water vapor in the air, amount of rainfall per unit area, air pressure at sea level. Tell me, what is the definition? What actually is a humidity? The normal definition of humidity. Humidity is nothing but the amount of moisture present in a given air. If you take a block of air, how much moisture, H2O in form of water vapor, is present? So that is called as a humidity, right. Now absolute humidity means the actual amount of water vapor in the given air. That means the weight of water vapor per unit volume of air is called as absolute humidity. Relative humidity is a different definition. Relative humidity means the amount of water vapor present with respect to its maximum capacity. When you compare the present moisture with the maximum capacity of a given air, then it is called as a relative humidity. But absolute humidity means what is the present weight of water vapor with respect to the given volume. So answer is A. Next, the temperature at which the air becomes saturated and condensation begins is called as, correct Venkat, yes, boiling point, freezing point, condensation level, dew point. What is they are asking a particular temperature at which the air becomes saturated. What is saturation? So when you study for your maximum capacity of 12 hours per day, you get saturated. That means you reached your maximum capacity. So when air reaches its maximum capacity to hold the moisture, then it is called as a saturation. It reached its maximum capacity to hold moisture. Then the next phase is called as condensation. That means if any moisture is added, it will release in form of a rain or any precipitation, right? So that particular temperature where it receives maximum capacity is called as a dew point. Very popular question, very important question. Not freezing point. Freezing point is a point temperature at which the liquid becomes a solid ice. That is the freezing point. Condensation level, no, not related to this particular temperature. Boiling point means where the liquid becomes the gas, right? So the dew point is the answer. Very popular question again. Next, which of the following adds water vapor to the atmosphere? So you can see on the earth we have hydrosphere. That means wherever there is a moisture on earth surface, atmosphere, everything is called as hydrosphere. Now when the water is in the oceans or rivers, the water will be added into the atmosphere because of various conditions. And which phenomena is that where the water vapor will be converted from liquid to gas and added into the atmosphere? So this is called as evaporation. Very good. So evaporation is a phenomena where the liquid form from the oceans, rivers is taken and added into the atmosphere, right, in form of a gas. So that is called as a evaporation. Good. Next, which trench is the deepest part of the world's oceans? So what is a trench? Trench is a deep valley under the oceans, under the water. So we have a number of trench. We have a Puerto Rico trench, we have a Sunda, Java trench in the Indian Ocean. Now they are asking the deepest trench in the world oceans. Very popular question again. That is Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. This is near to Japan, east of Japan, Pacific Ocean. So this is the deepest part in the ocean, around 11 kilometers deep, Mariana Trench. Correct, Venkat has answered. Good. Next, which of the following islands? Island means what? A land mass surrounded by water on 4 sides, that is called as the island. Now they are asking which island is located within Indian Ocean. Greenland, which is the largest island in the world, Madagascar, Iceland, Borneo. So tell me, I am just giving you 5 to 10 seconds, you can answer, right? Is located in the Indian Ocean. So Greenland, this is located in the, this is the largest, right? Let me show you the map also, world map, somewhere we have discussed. So this is the, Greenland is here. You can see it is in the Atlantic Ocean or Arctic Ocean, not in the Indian Ocean, right? So basically Greenland is the largest island in the world, but it is not located in the Indian Ocean. Rather it is located in the Atlantic Ocean and also some part of Arctic Ocean. Then Iceland, again same Atlantic Ocean. Borneo, Pacific Ocean, the West Pacific Ocean. Madagascar is the country which is located within the Indian Ocean. You can see here. So this is the Madagascar. This is located within the Indian Ocean. So answer is B. Correct. Few people have answered this correct. Next, which of the following defines an isthmus correctly? We have discussed a lot of landforms in the ocean. Strait we have discussed, isthmus we have discussed. We have also discussed about the bay, gulf, right, island, peninsula, number of landforms we have discussed. Now they are asking you to define what is isthmus. A deep trench in the ocean floor, a gap between mountain ranges, a shallow water body enclosed by the land, a narrow strip of land connecting two large land areas. Correct, Venkat has answered, that is D. Isthmus means a narrow landmass which connects the two larger landmass or divide two water bodies. Let me show you. So see, this is the isthmus, this is the narrow land, this is the narrow land which divides two water bodies or connects the two land masses. This is called as a isthmus. So that defines the narrow strip of land that connects the two larger land areas. So answer is D. Next, the narrowest part of strait is usually characterized by. See, strait means what? Opposite to isthmus. Isthmus means narrow strip of land connecting two larger land masses, whereas strait means narrow water body connecting two bigger water bodies like oceans, seas, anything. So strait is a narrow water body connecting two larger water bodies. Now they are saying narrowest part of strait. So if the strait is very narrow, that means very thin, very small gap is there, then it is characterized by what? Very good evening, Banu, welcome to the session. Strong winds, high mountains, strong water currents, deep trenches. Use common sense, very commonsensical question. You no need to even have a conceptual thing. It's a very common sense. Answer this question. Narrow part of strait. So if the water strait is very narrow, what will happen? When you pour a water and if there is a wide gap, they will flow very slowly. But if the narrowness is very less, they are very narrow, and if you pour water, the water will rise in a height leading to formation of currents, right? So strong water currents can be experienced in the places where there is a narrow strip. So answer is basically strong water currents. Very commonsensical question. You should answer such questions, right? So this kind of questions gives you edge over the other candidates. Next one, why does Bay of Bengal have lower salinity? This is combined with the Indian geography, even though it is not directly from physical geography. So why do Bay of Bengal have the low salinity compared to most of the water bodies? High evaporation, low rainfall, influx of river water, proximity to the equator. Tell me. Yeah, very good. So Venkat, influx of river water. See, where will be salinity higher? When there is a high evaporation, that means loss of moisture. That means we are left with some salts, lot of salts. So when there is a high evaporation, there will be more salinity as water is retreating into form of moisture into the atmosphere. So this is wrong answer. Low rainfall, no, rainfall is a fresh water. So when it is added, salinity will decrease. But when there is low rainfall, it means more salinity will be present. Influx of river water, yes, specifically Ganga river, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, many of the rivers bring fresh water, so that's why salinity is less. So answer is C. Right? Next question, in a wave, each water particle moves in a, so wave means basically we are discussing about the water wave. Water wave. I have discussed in the class the difference between the tides and waves. Wave is a movement of water, a movement of water in a oscillatory motion. That means water does not displace from one place to other place. Rather, they move in a circular oscillatory motion. Whereas in case of tide, the water moves towards the shore. So in case of wave, there is only energy transfer. There is no movement of water. It's just a circulatory. The water will rise and then fall again. Whereas in case of tide, the movement of water takes place because of the attraction between sun, earth and moon. So in the wave, it is a circulatory oscillatory motion. Yes, Venkat, previous classes will be in the playlist live section, you can check. We have AS online in Telugu channel as well, lot of classes we are taking, right? Next, when the earth, moon, sun are in a straight line, that means if this is the sun, this is the moon and this is the earth, or as moon moves around the earth, sun, earth and moon, and when they are straight, what kind of tides we will experience? Tide is nothing but the movement of water because of the attraction between sun, earth and moon, right? Now when this alignment takes place, what kind of tides we are experiencing? Neap tide, low tide, spring tide, ebb tide. So what is the answer? Answer is spring tides. Let me show you the diagram also. So when the sun, moon and earth are in a single alignment, there is more attraction more effect of gravitational force. That's why we will see higher tides, right? Large tides, those are called as spring tides. And whereas if Earth, Sun and Moon in a perpendicular alignment, then we will see the lesser tides, those are called as a neap tides. So answer is spring tides, correct. Next, very tricky question. I have asked this particular question in the class also when we are discussing different combination of questions we have discussed. Again repeating the question, neap tides occur with a gap of how many days from spring tides? So after occurring a spring tide, with how many days gap we will experience the neap tide, they are asking. So this is a conceptual question. Let's see. This is the Earth, this is the Sun, and the Moon moves around the Earth. It takes 28 days. Moon completes one revolution around the Earth in 28 days. That means this position and this position will be spring tide. For this half rotation it will take 14 days. Now the question is not from spring to spring, rather spring to neap or spring to neap. This 1/4 rotation. So that is, it takes 7 days. So C is the answer. So Venkat and Banu has answered Banu has answered it correct. C, very good. See, this kind of questions will differentiate you from others. Many people will not be able to answer these kind of questions, right? So answer is C, 7 days. 14 days is the difference between spring tide to spring tide or neap tide to neap tide. Spring tide to neap tide or neap tide to spring tide is a 7 days, right? Answer is C. Next, I think last question for today, that is Labrador current. We have a water currents. What is a water current? The horizontal movement of water across the oceans is called as the ocean currents. Now we have warm currents and cold currents. Whatever the water currents moving from equator to the poles, they are called as warm currents because they are moving from equator towards the poles. And whatever the currents moving from pole to equator, that means colder region to hot region, they are called as the colder currents. Now Labrador current is what kind of current? Warm current in the Pacific Ocean, cold current in the Atlantic Ocean, cold current in the Pacific Ocean, warm current in the Indian Ocean. See, Indian Ocean, no, we don't have Labrador, you can eliminate. So you can see this Labrador, right? So this Labrador current is this one. These are all the ocean currents, right? And different concepts we have discussed in the class, but we are not explaining here, just it's a fact. Labrador is present in the Atlantic Ocean, and this is as coming from the pole towards the equator, as this is a cold region coming to the hot region, it is called as a cold current. So cold current in the Atlantic Ocean. So answer is B. Good. Ganesh, Prakash, Reshma, Venkat, everyone have answered. So that is about today's session related to physical geography. We will also have one more geography live lecture series before your exam. You have time, that is in October, right? So we will take up the Indian geography subject in the next geography session. Then we will also have economy session, polity. I think history been done by Raju sir yesterday. So we will have polity and then geography, other classes, economy, environment. We have a lot of live sessions. So through these live sessions, our intention is that you should quickly revise, not to by heart the questions. Rather, you should revise your concepts. If you are weak in this particular any question, if you are not able to answer, that means you have to go back to the concept, read it and then answer it. So out of this 50, if you could able to score 35, 40 in the SSC JE, you will have a very good scope to get a good rank. So that is for today's session. All the best and thank you.